Hello and welcome. We'll try that again. That is completely my fault today. Just running a little bit late getting in. So apologies, we missed. It is only one shot qualifying. And then we're on the 35%, the new race distance. So hopefully we won't miss too much of the action. Stay with us as we'll go straight through to Qatar afterwards. It is a double header stream. And it looks like we've not missed too much. So let's just see about that. Yep, so on the new game then, we did the US double header of Qatar followed by Vegas. Followed by Vegas the other day. Missed out Miami. Here we go then, and we have a formation lap. So I will just fix up my settings here. And can tell you that Wavy is on pole position. He's in an Alpine today. It is free pick for the cars at this stage. There are your strategies for the one stopper, 20 lap race. Matt Brown is in second. AlphaTauri. Scornful Griffin there, the TSL champion last season, is in the Aston Martin in third. Mansis is in fourth. He's the quickest time on nearly every track on my friends list. Brad Mason there in fifth for Mercedes. There's Nathan Holland in the Alfa Romeo in sixth. There's Boris Johnson in the Williams. Dangerous Dave is in the Haas. Mats Bloom is in ninth in the second of the Aston Martins. Syme in the Ferrari is 10th. Bunny's Vengeance in the McLaren is in 11th, with Smug in the Ferrari in 12th, and MK5 on Bags is the last one there in the Alpine. So we've got 13 on the grid for this one. Little bit of glitch in there. Wavy has pulled right ahead. Oh dear, we've got a multiple leave. I think some people have been glitched out of the session. Hopefully they'll be able to get back in as we line up on the grid. Yep, just a couple of DQs for parking. And here we go then. And Smug's been disqualified for some reason. That's got to be some kind of glitch. But Wavy leads away from Matt Brown in second, and Brad Mason runs out the inside of Scornful Griffin, pushes him wide, and somebody's off at the back. Somebody's off at the back, and that is Nathan Holan who is off at the back. Meanwhile, Scornful's lost some positions. He was pushed wide by Brad Mason early on. And now Max Bloom and Buddy's Vengeance scrapping away. MK5 and Bags up to 10th. It did say Smug had been disqualified, but that seemed to just be for his parking rather than it was just a delayed message. He is still there and still going. He's in 10th place. Wavy leads. Scornful Griffin has dropped down to 6th, but he's trying to make some moves. Boris Johnson and Mansis go side by side there, as Buddy's Vengeance makes a move as well. And up the inside goes Scornful Griffin on Boris Johnson. It's going to be forced around the long way now though, and Boris keeps the place. But for how long? And all round goes Scornful Griffin, trying to make a dive up the inside of Boris Johnson, and he got a tap, and round he goes. A terrible first lap for the TSL champion then. Boris now has the attentions of Mansis as the front three pull away a bit. Mansis trying to go the long way around the outside here on this very slow corner. Smug get overtaking Syme for 9th place there. MK5 on Bags is up to 8th, and they're all jockeying for position as you can see, and Mansis is going up the inside of Boris Johnson, and we just lose them there. Boris holds it out again. Nathan Holan I think was off again at the back. Syme has overtaken Smug in the battle of the two Ferraris. Max Bloom is now right up behind as well, as Mansis is 3 wide there. 3 wide, and Dangerous Dave was barged off the track as they go 3 wide again. And Dangerous Dave in between there, Boris Johnson and Mansis. And into the wall, Dangerous Dave there as well. Not sure what settings the damage is on, but MK5 on Bags is getting involved as well, and he's dived up the inside of Buddy's Vengeance, who's trying to get that place back straight away. So Wavy leads from Matt Brown, with Brad Mason up to 3rd. Boris Johnson is 4th. But he's away back now from the front three. Behind him, Dangerous Dave, Mansis, MK5 on Bags, Buddy's Vengeance, Syme, Smug and Max Bloom are all scrapping away for positions. Scornful Griffin has pit for a new front wing, I believe, as Smug retakes Syme. Runs a little bit wide on exit, but keeps the position, and Wavy has dropped to 3rd. Wavy must have had a problem, an incident there, as he's dropped to 3rd from the lead. Matt Brown now leads, and Brad Mason is up to 2nd. Wavy was in the lead, and we've got an Aston Martin in some problems at the back. And that is Max Bloom has gone for a spin. So Max Bloom has gone for a spin. He was in a congested part of the track. Matt Brown sets the fastest lap of the race. And Bunny's Vengeance is battling back against MK5 on bags and takes the position as Marcis once again fights Dangerous Dave. Great action here, as always, in the Dynamic Racing League. Still some time to join for the new season. If you're quick and you know how to race wheel to wheel and you're not an idiot, then do give it a go. I was practicing with a couple of these guys the other day as Marcis overtakes Dangerous Dave and Bunny's Vengeance is trying to follow him through. And does so, as does MK5 on bags, but he's run a bit wide. Dangerous Dave has lost 3, maybe 4 positions there, as Smug now goes past him. A nice purple sector there for Smug as well. Matt Brown leads from Brad Mason. Not far either. They're all close together. This front three, Wavy and Boris Johnson picks up a penalty. That's going to do him no good at all. It's the first time penalty of the race. It probably won't be the last, and it definitely won't be the last, as Dangerous Dave picks one up. Picks 2 up as he's got a corner cut and a speeding in the pits penalty. Just 4 laps in, his tyres are giving up the ghost, and Syme had overtaken him. He did have wing damage, so that'll be why we were maybe a bit harsh on him. Nathan Holland is off again on the main straight by the looks of it, so problems for him. And Dangerous Dave back out into the race in 11th place as Smug overtakes Bunny's Vengeance for 7th. Scornful Griffin sets the fastest lap of the race. He's at the back, going for the alternative strategy. Brad Mason and Wavy side by side. Wavy trying to hook it up round the outside, then up the inside, and does make it stick, does he? Yes, he does. Wavy back up to 2nd place then. Brad Mason not giving it up though. He'll chase him all the way. Matt Brown now got a 2nd gap, which negates any DRS help that Wavy might get to catch him up. Brad Mason's still right on his tail and might fancy a go once they get the DRS down this long straight. Brad Mason on the softer tyre. It may give up, it may not. It's not giving up at the moment because he's back up to 2nd, and now we look back as Marcis overtakes Boris Johnson and Bunny's Vengeance overtakes Smug, does he? He does! Contact Bunny's Vengeance and Smug, and Bunny's Vengeance came off worse from it because Syme has now overtaken him, and Syme is going to go up and overtake his teammate Smug as well. Bit of contact there between those two. MK5 is now right on Boris Johnson's tail. And a Ferrari is off. It's Smug Git, he's lost his front wing. I think there was contact there with MK5 on bags and Boris Johnson as well. It's all happening. Smug Git has had an incident and he's going to have to pit for a new front wing, I believe. Here he is, into the pit lane. Max Bloom goes past Smug as he pits. Dangerous Dave has set the fastest lap of the race. He's also going to go past Smug and up to 10th place. Meanwhile, Syme is going to go past Boris Johnson and into 6th. So Brad Mason this time has managed to keep Wavy behind him so far, but will probably have an earlier pit stop as Syme overtakes MK5 on bags. And Nathan Holan's off again. He's really not having a good time of it here in Abu Dhabi. Matt Brown's off. Off goes the leader. The leader is off, Matt Brown. And into the pit lane. So now up to first place goes Brad Mason with Wavy in 2nd. Mansis is now 3rd from Syme in 4th. He's got MK5 on bags and Boris Johnson for company. Then behind them it's Buddy's Vengeance. Matt Brown's back out on the hard tyre to the end of the race. He's going to come up behind Max Bloom. And possibly Max Bloom spins into the pit exit. Max Bloom there spun into the pit exit. Fortunately he was ghosting, as Matt Brown would have been straight into him. Dangerous Dave is just behind Matt Brown after that pit stop. And we stick with, I think we stick with Wavy chasing down Brad Mason, who is surely going to pit sooner rather than later. Maybe 1 or 2 more laps in those soft tyres for Brad Mason and Buddy's Vengeance. Most people have either already got off them. Nathan Holan's in the pits again for a new set of softs. He's running clear last, so might as well. Still all 13 who started are in the race. And we're just coming up towards half distance. We're on lap 9 of 20. Smudgit making an overtake on Max Bloom there. Further back, we're going to stick with the leaders as Wavy is going to look to make a move, but didn't in the end. Just trying to force the mistake out of Brad Mason in front of him. Bit more DRS help is coming. Max Bloom is in the pits. Boris Johnson's had an incident. The 3 of them are still going, and Wavy has taken the lead. It's all happening at once here. Syme and MK5 are running side by side here. And Boris is getting involved as well. What's going to happen here between these 3? Syme takes the place. MK5 will stay in 5th place for now, but Boris is trying to hang it up around the inside of him. Buddy's Vengeance has dropped a little bit behind this, and Brad Mason pits off of his soft tyres. So Wavy goes on in the lead. Mansis is up to 2nd. Was that battle we've been watching? Syme, MK5 and Boris. Up to 3, 4 and 5 now. Buddy's Vengeance also pits. Smug picks up a penalty. And Matt Brown is coming out ahead of Buddy's Vengeance, but behind Brad Mason. And Dangerous Dave also ahead of Buddy's, but behind Brad. Quick look at the penalties for you. It's 8 seconds for Dangerous Dave, 3 for Boris and Smug. And then the front 5 yet to pit, started on the mediums, and a spin, a big spin for MK5 on Bags into the wall. A big accident. He'll be lucky if he hasn't got any damage there. And into the pits comes Mansis. Let's see where he comes out. Simon and Boris are going to go through. MK5 on Bags has picked up a penalty and is now pitting. Boris runs very wide there. Mansis is going for the soft tyre to the end of the race, as is MK5. Brad Mason is back up to 4th. Matt Brown is up to 5th. Mansis is coming out now and is going to come out ahead of Dangerous Dave and Bunny's Vengeance. MK5 on Bags is going to come out in 10th behind Smug Git, but only just. In fact, he's racing Smug Git as soon as he comes out of the pits. MK5 is going to try and make the move on Smug, and does it possibly? No, not this time. He'll have another go though, with more DRS assistance coming up here as Boris Johnson picks up a 2nd penalty, and Wavy, the leader, is in the pits. So let's see where Wavy rejoins, as Simon is also in the pits, and Boris Johnson has practically pushed Simon into the pits. So Brad Mason then is going to come through Boris, and is Brad Mason coming out in the lead? He is indeed. Brad Mason leads. Wavy is exiting the pits now. Mansis is going around the first corner, and is behind Wavy. Mansis in 3rd behind Wavy. Matt Brown right behind him in 4th. Dangerous Dave is up to 5th, but probably has to pit again. Bunny's Vengeance is in 6th place, and Simon and Boris have lost out here, I think. Boris is now down to 7th. Simon is in 8th. Has Simon come out on the medium tyres? Did he start on the medium tyres? Simon surely has used the same tyre twice. Let's just check that. He has indeed, so Simon needs to pit again. Strategy error there at Ferrari. Mansis then catching Wavy now for 2nd. Brad Mason, it's worked out very well for him. The undercut proving to be the way to go, as he is now about 3 seconds up the road. Dangerous Dave does pit for a 2nd time. MK5 on Bags, that's the fastest lap of the race. Dangerous Dave drops down the order. Scornful, we haven't mentioned him, he's been pretty lonely out on track. He is in 11th at the moment with 10 lap old mediums. He's now up to 10th as he passes Dangerous Dave, who's pitted, but surely he's going to have to pit again. Simon has had a real strategy error here because he's gone medium, and I believe you have to use the 2 compounds. Mansis overtaking Wavy. Mansis up into 2nd place in the McLaren. MK5 on Bags making a move on Simon, who will try and hook it back up round the outside. And are they both going to get through here? MK5 gets it done, does he? Syme's not giving it up. And Syme retakes, does he? Great racing by these two. Syme does keep 7th place for now, but MK5 is not going away anytime soon. Boris now catching Bunny's vengeance. He's got a lot more pace now, he's on the soft tyres. He's going to need it as he's got 2 penalties to deal with. And round the outside goes Boris Johnson. Look at the extra grip. Wavy has overtaken Mansis. We're going to stay with Boris and Bunny's vengeance as they're going side by side. And Boris makes it stick. Mansis and Wavy are having a ding-dong battle as well for second. And they're also closing in a bit on Brad Mason, who is not home and dry just yet, despite these two being on the soft tyre, which may die on them towards the end of the race. A thrilling race so far. We're on lap 14 as Nathan Holland is in the pits once again as he's being lapped. It's definitely not been his day. Running last of the 13 and a lap down on most of them now. Wavy and Mansis then getting a bit closer to Brad Mason. As you can see, Brad in the foreground. They're concentrating on each other, however, and Wavy is overtaking once again. Scornful Griffin does pit once again. He'll be hoping for some accidents or a safety car to get him back into this. MK5 still in company with Syme. Scornful exits the pits right in front of his teammate Max Bloom. Both Aston Martins outside the top 10 at the moment. Bunny's Vengeance picks up a time penalty. Quite a few of those starting to appear as we come to the later laps of this race. Brad Mason's lead is now under a second. We're going to go with these front three, as you'll now see Wavy and Mantis both with DRS. And this is the battle for the win. Here comes Wavy, looking to make the move. Wavy retakes the lead. Wavy back into the lead ahead of Brad Mason. Mantis has just dropped a little bit back. Also looking to make a move is MK5 on Bags. He's been in company with Syme for most of the race. Boris has got another penalty. I think that's his third. So the front three then. Lap 17 of 20. Wavy, your leader, from Brad Mason and Mansis. The three of them are now clear from Matt Brown in fourth. And it's Boris Johnson, Bunny's Vengeance and Syme ahead of MK5 on Bags. Smug Git and Dangerous Dave rounds off the top 10. The pair of Aston Martins, Scornful Griffin and Max Bloom, are next. And then Nathan Holland is well back. Scornful Griffin sets the fastest lap of the race once again. It's not gone well for him today, but he's definitely got the pace. He may have left it too late to catch Dangerous Dave. The two-stopper not quite going well for him. Now I'm pretty sure that Syme is at risk of disqualification. We've got a virtual safety car, and MK5 on Bags is out of the race. MK5 on Bags is out of the race. I'm not sure where that's happened, but his car seems to have come off the map straight away. Matt Brown's decided to pit under the virtual safety car here. There's some soft tyres. And away he goes. And we're racing again. Smug is also in the pits, which will promote Dangerous Dave to 8th. And Scornful might just have something to chase down. It's going to be difficult. So we lost MK5 on Bags there. Apologies, I didn't actually capture what happened. Wavy then still leads from Brad Mason, but the lead is a slender one. And Mansis is still in this as well. Those are the front three. They're well clear now of Boris Johnson in 4th, who is going to lose that position on penalties, I believe. Bunny's Vengeance is in 5th. I'm pretty convinced that Syme has to pit again. He's in 6th at the moment. Matt Brown out on the fresh set of soft tyres is in 7th. And it's Dangerous Dave in 8th, Smug Git in 9th, and Scornful Griffin is in 10th. Let's have a look at the penalties once again. As Scornful will try and close to within 3 seconds of Smug to jump him. Boris with 9 seconds of penalties. Dangerous Dave got rid of his speeding penalty in the pit lane, so only has 3 now. But we will stick with the leaders as we're now on the penultimate lap and coming towards the end of that penultimate lap. And the closest battle is the one for the podium places. We know who's going to be on the podium, but in which order? At the moment it's Wavy from Brad Mason from Mansis, but it could all change as we go into the final lap of this race here in Abu Dhabi. It's the Middle East mission here with Dynamic Racing League. The World Tour warm-up for the new season. I haven't actually opened, and Syme has been disqualified. Syme has gone through and not pit on the last lap, and Syme has been disqualified. And I did think that he'd gone medium, and he wasn't allowed to do that. Having to use 2 compounds, of course, and Syme is out of the race. So both Aston Martins then earn the points. Brad Mason looking for a move, looking for a race-winning move on this final lap. He knows he can't go too silly because Marcis is right there behind him as well. Wavy leads them through the final sector. Around the final corner, and Wavy wins in Abu Dhabi from Brad Mason, half a second back, and Marcis in third. The three on the podium separated by 1 second. Wavy wins, Brad Mason second and Marcis third. Boris Johnson will come home in fourth but lose that position. Nathan Holland's off yet again. Boris Johnson came home fourth but drops to fifth. Bunny's Vengeance promoted to fourth. Matt Brown finishes in sixth place. Dangerous Dave will come across the line in seventh, ahead of Smug, who wobbles his way around the last corner and takes eighth. And we await the Aston Martins in ninth and 10th to round off those point scoring positions. Stay with us, folks, because we're going to Qatar next. But first, I'm going for a toilet break. So bear with us. We'll be in Qatar next for one-shot qualifying very shortly. Welcome back. And we're about to start one shot qualifying here in Qatar. New track this one in Lusail. Apologies for the slight delay. I imagine my diet of fried and processed food is doing bad things to my stomach. Who'd have thought it? Anyway, that's enough health advice. Let's go back to racing, shall we? And we are going to go with Mansis, if we can, for this lap. And let's see what happens. Better to just stick with one driver on these laps, because obviously everyone's going at once. Nobody can see each other. We can only see one. So that's what we're going to do. Just a quick apology from the previous race. Simon was disqualified due to a glitch, and he will have his position reinstated. So I did think something was amiss there. Mansis then at the moment is the quickest. Simon was retired, so he's going to start from the back. We've lost one driver from the first race. I'm going to try and work out who that is. But here comes Mansis across the line and takes pole position. A lot of disqualifications, but Mansis has taken pole position. I think I just saw Easy Life was joined, so that'll be another one to join. I'm trying to work out who's missing. Dangerous Dave has disappeared. So there we go. Mansis pole position from Brad Mason in second, Bunny's Vengeance third, Matt Brown in fourth, Nabenhole in fifth, Matt's Bloom sixth. Everyone else didn't finish. Simon 7, Smug 8, Boris 9, Scornful 10, and the two Alpines, Wavy and MK5, will start at the back. So there will be a slight pause while drivers get their strategies sorted out and things like that. We've lost Matt Brown for a second. Hopefully we can get him back in. So yeah, we'll just have a little wait now while we let the drivers get their strategies sorted out. Just a quick reminder, we are here Mondays and Thursdays from 8 PM with the DRS. It's a multi-merge championship now that will be starting soon. These are the warm-up events. We've got a couple more of these where we do a pair of races back to back with one shot quali. So join us on Monday for the next one of those. If you're watching, do come and say hello in the chat, either on my own channel here, Blobby_Butler, or on the DRS one, the Dynamic Racing League UK, no spaces. Drop your comments in and I'll give you a shout out. Do give us a follow as well while you watch on either or both channels. Hopefully be able to stick more to the schedule of Monday and Thursdays from now on. Here we go. Have we skipped the formation lap? It looks like we have skipped the formation lap. We're underway, and Brad Mason is up the inside of Mantis into turn 1 and takes the lead of the race. Everyone safely through the first few corners. And now we've got a yellow in sector 1, and there's an Alpine stuck at the back, and Boris Johnson's gone very wide. MK5 on Bags has had a problem and is off at the back. Boris ran very wide there. Matt Brown's got right to the back, apart from MK5 of course, who, as we said, had that problem previously. So it's Brad Mason from Mansis. Bunny's Vengeance is in 3rd place. Boris Johnson is 4th from Nebenholen. Then it's Syme in 6th. Easy Life didn't get in the end, so he's gone again, and a bit of contact there. Mats Bloom maybe on the back of Syme. Running very closely together, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. Then it's Wavy and Scornful Griffin. Smug Git in 10th place. Brad Mason sets the fastest lap off the grid, of course. Aston Martin sandwich here for Wavy. And it's a very tightly packed one. They all get through without any mischief. We're going to stick with Wavy actually, as these are the closest on track at the moment. The two Aston Martins surrounding the Alpine. And at the back there, Smug outbraking himself and getting a penalty. Just went a bit deep into that corner. Used a bit too much runoff for the game's liking. And he's been awarded a penalty for it. MK5 on Bags has got past Matt Brown, who seems to be really struggling. Of course, not everyone yet used to the new tracks. That could be a factor. Syme is now closing in on Nebenholen. We were talking the other day about favourite liveries. And look at this, 3 wide. Mats Bloom, Scornful Griffin and Wavy, and Scornful gets past Wavy. He's still behind his teammate. MK5 on Bags has picked up a penalty. Syme went really slowly there and has given Scornful hope of getting him as well, as Scornful Griffin now passes his teammate Mats Bloom. And look at this, Smug is now right up on this battle as well. It's a good scrap. Scornful is making his way through them. He's past Wavy, he's past Mats Bloom, and his next target is now Syme in the Ferrari. Wavy now overtakes Mats Bloom as well. Got a double layered sandwich here. We've got the Ferraris on the outside of each side of this battle, the Aston Martins in between, and right in the middle there's Wavy in the Alpine. Yep, I wouldn't be blobby if I wasn't still thinking about sandwiches. That's going to be a ruin now though, as Scornful Griffin overtakes. In fact, it isn't, because Scornful's overtaken Syme and Smug has overtaken Nats Bloom, so now I've just inverted it so the Astons are on the outside of it, as you can see. MK5 on Bags is not too far back from joining in as they continue to scrap. Brad Mason now a couple of seconds is the lead for him, and off there is Syme. Syme has gone off and dropped back down to 10th place, and he's got his old mate MK5 and Bags for company now. Smug continues to chase Wavy. Boris Johnson is getting a bit close to Bunny's Vengeance also. I haven't put the tyres up. Softs for Brad, for Smug and for Matt Brown. MK5 on Bags, that's his second penalty I believe. Boris does make the pass, and Smug is side by side and making the pass on Wavy. So further up the field, Boris Johnson has taken 3rd place. Bunny's Vengeance in 4th, and Nathan Holland just behind, as you can see, in 5th. And Smug Git has overtaken Wavy, and Matt Bloom is still in company with them. MK5 getting close to the back of Syme. Too close because he's dropped back. And he's retired. MK5 on Bags is out of the race. Maybe got some damage there, and he's out. And we're down to 11. Brad Mason then leads from Mansis, and then Boris Johnson in 3rd, chased by Bunny's Vengeance and Nathan Holland. 6 is Scornful Griffin. 7 is Smug, but he does have a penalty. Wavy is in 8th from Matt Bloom in 9th. Syme is now 10th, and Matt Brown is at the back in 11th. I think he's either been disconnected or he's taking his time to learn the track. And into the pits come Syme and Scornful Griffin. Syme and Scornful are into the pits, and that's a very early stop from mediums to softs for both of them two. Maybe more game glitch fun there, I don't know. But on goes Matt Brown. Bunny's Vengeance still clinging to the back of Boris Johnson. As we approach half race distance. It's gone very quickly, hasn't it? 20 laps around Abu Dhabi, just 14 round here. Brad Mason leads from Mansis. Boris Johnson is in 3rd. He, as you can see, is not far ahead of Bunny's Vengeance and Nathan Holland. And there's a gap back to Wavy. Matt Bloom. Smug is in the pits for his stop. Gonna go back to Bunny's Vengeance as he's closed right in on Boris there. Smug picks up a penalty for pit lane speeding. Let's see if Scornful Griffin's going to get the overtake on him here as he comes out of the pits. He does. Do the other two as well. They do. So Smug drops to last from his pit stop. I think Matt Brown's in AI. This is why people are breezing past him. He's definitely ghosted. Syme has gone back past him into 9th place. Bunny's Vengeance has picked up a time penalty. Just pushing that little bit too hard to get past Boris. A 3-second penalty for Bunny's Vengeance then. Smug now with 8 seconds penalties, I believe. Indeed. And into the pit lane goes Boris Johnson. The first 5 are all going into the pit lane. The first 6. Mats Bloom goes round and is going to take the lead of this race. Mats Bloom leads then. Brad Mason and Mars. Is anyone else coming through? No, I don't think so. Scornful's going to be too far back. Brad Mason leads the parade out of the pits. Ahead of Mansis, Boris, Naben Holan. In fact, Naben Holan and Bunny's Vengeance and Wavy are all going to lose out to Scornful Griffin. So the undercut working for Scornful, but now he's got 2 extra laps to make those tyres last. Matt Brown also in the pits, but I think he's in AI. He's last. So Mats Bloom leads the race for Aston Martin, having not yet picked. He will drop back down the order when he does so. Brad Mason just a second ahead of Mansis now, who will have the advantage of the softer tyre. Then it's Boris Johnson. Scornful Griffin is in 5th, having jumped Naben Holan and Bunny's Vengeance. And Mats Bloom now pits. So let's keep an eye on the front 5, 6, 7 to see where he comes back into the race. Through then goes Brad Mason to retake the lead. Through goes Mansis. Through goes Boris. Through goes Scornful. Through goes Naben Holan. Through goes Wavy. And through goes Syme. So he has dropped Matt Bloom right back down to 9th place. Meanwhile, Mansis is climbing all over the back of Brad Mason now, trying to make the soft tyre pay at the end of the race. Naben Holan and Bunny's Vengeance catching up a little to Scornful Griffin. They might have to bide their time for the end of the race with tyres that are 2 laps younger. We'll stay with the leaders as it's this close. You saw these two battle it out with Wavy earlier on in Abu Dhabi. We've made the short hop to Qatar, and 2 of the same 3 are right up there once again. And here comes a move for Mansis to take the lead of the race and the fastest lap simultaneously. Mansis into the lead from Brad Mason. And surely now with the softer tyre you'd expect him to pull away a bit. We will go to Scornful Griffin, who is right up behind Naben Holan. And Bunny's Vengeance is right there as well. Naben Holan defending for his life here. And Scornful's off. Off goes Scornful Griffin there. That's going to give Bunny's Vengeance 5th place. And it's going to give Naben Holan a bit of a breather. And it's going to encourage Wavy to come back at him. So a little mistake there from Scornful Griffin has cost him a couple of places. Brad Mason sticking well with Mansis at the front. Still just a second, under a second in it, and he's going to have DRS down the main straight here. And look at the power difference with the DRS, and Brad Mason is going to retake the lead. Brad Mason back into the lead of the race. Wavy has indeed caught up with Scornful Griffin. So, just 3 laps to go. Brad Mason leads from Mansis by an ever-decreasing couple of tenths of a second. Boris Johnson is about 4 seconds back in 3rd place, but comfortably on the podium at the moment. Naben Holan is in 4th. A real improvement for him compared to his disaster at Abu Dhabi. Bunny's Vengeance is in 5th, with Scornful Griffin fighting off Wavy for 6th spot. Then it's Syme, Matt Bloom, Smug, and Matt Brown, who I believe is in AI because he's miles back. Here we go again. Mansis round the outside, makes the pass and retakes the lead of the race. Wavy now makes the move and takes 6th place from Scornful Griffin as well. We will stick with the leaders though, because Brad Mason and Mansis have been swapping places. It's been a good battle, and it's not over yet. At the moment, Boris comfortably in 3rd from Naben Holan. Bunny's Vengeance is closing in on Naben Holan. Brad Mason's picked up a penalty, and with that could go his hopes of a race win. Naben Holan has also picked a penalty up, which will help Bunny's Vengeance, who already had one. Brad's going to make the move again on Mansis down the main straight with DRS. Retakes the lead, but somehow in the next 2 laps he has got to find a gap. And someone with a yellow flag at the back. That may have been Syme coming to an issue, as he's been overtaken by Matt Bloom. In fact, it was Scornful Griffin, who you saw there without a front wing. Scornful Griffin. Boris Johnson has now picked up a penalty. That won't do him any harm at the moment. But Scornful Griffin then was the one who had gone off, and he's now dropped right to the rear of the field. He's going to end up 10th. Bunny's Vengeance overtakes Naben Holan and up into 4th place. Brad Mason still leads from Mansis, less than half a second in it, as we approach the final lap of the race. Penalties will negate each other for Boris, Bunnies and Naben Holan. Wavy though is within striking distance as Mansis retakes the lead. He wants to win it on track and not just follow Brad home to win it via penalties. Mansis retakes the lead on the final lap. And a yellow in sector 1, which is about exactly where we are. And Brad Mason, I think, has had an issue. Scornful Griffin is out. He has retired in the pit lane. Brad Mason's going slowly and Boris Johnson is going to get him. A problem for Brad Mason, and Boris Johnson takes second place. He's cruising. Buddy's Vengeance is cruising. I think they've all run out of fuel. Could they have run out of petrol? I think they have. Mansis is going to win the race, but I think some of them have run out of petrol. Here comes Mansis. Unbelievable finish to this race. Mansis wins and drives into the wall for effect. Wavy is crawling, they're all crawling over the line. This is unbelievable. Wavy isn't gonna finish second. Matt Bloom finishes second, from Wavy in third, Naban Holan fourth, Boris Johnson in fifth. Brad Mason drops right to sixth. Smug is going to come over the line in seventh, but everybody is crawling. And Boris Johnson, in fact, didn't finish. Boris didn't make it to the end. What an incredible finish. I think everybody ran out of petrol. Unbelievable. Matt Bloom picks up a podium and picks up driver of the day just by having enough fuel, I believe. Incredible stuff. Let's run you through then the finishing order once we see the podium. Mansis, a deserved winner. And then behind him, all sorts of nonsense. Here we go then. It was Mansis from Matt Bloom in second, Wavy in third, Naban Holan in fourth, Brad Mason dropped to fifth, Buddy's Vengeance was sixth, Smug finished seventh ahead of Syme, Boris Johnson didn't quite make the end apparently, he dropped to ninth, Matt Brown in 10th was a lap down. Scornful retired with 2 laps to go, and MK5 retired early. Wow. So Mansis, the winner then of the challenge with 2 podiums. In fact, Mansis and Wavy joint winners, as they both had a first and a third. So we'll have to pick out who had the fastest lap to decide between them two. Anyway, we will be back on Thursday. It is Thursday. We'll be back on Monday, 8 PM, with the Dynamic Racing League, the World Tour warm-up events, Monday from 8 PM, live on twitch.tv/blobby_butler and Dynamic Racing League UK, no spaces. That is it for tonight though. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you all soon. Good night.